Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media.
Has come out and brought out some figures, and looking at the step that the ACC has taken, and that there are more focus on the officials than where the money is, and there are concerns that it's high time ACC followed where the money is. So as the EPP party, what's your take on the matter?
You see, it's unfortunate that this issue is being politicized, especially by the PF and the UPND themselves. They are politicizing this issue. This issue is a very straightforward matter if you follow the substance of the matter itself. To start with, there is no money that has been reported to have been stolen. No money has been reported to have been stolen. The whole $33.705 million has not been reported stolen. And Felix Mutati did help a great deal by showing us where the money was paid. But in Felix Mutati's statement, clearly you don't see him saying somebody stole the money. Nothing at all. And Felix Mutati, he was the minister just before the money was released. And I am emphasizing just before the money was released, because if you look at the time that he was removed and the time that money was paid, it's barely just like a month in between. So these payments in government, they don't happen like today. Government is paying $33.70 million. No. It takes a long discussion and back and forth and so on and so forth, for which I would say Felix Mutati is very much privy of this transaction. Unfortunately, he didn't help us. He didn't go in details to explain. He just said the money was paid after I'd left. But no, I'm putting it to that Felix Mutati must have been the one who was negotiating and interacting with those contractors before they were paid. Because, like I've said, it's not that within a month that those people are paid. No, Felix Mutati knows what happened. And now that may sound like politics, but what is really the issue? The issue here is that this story started back in 2015 when contractors were hired and money was found from Exim Bank. Contractors moved on the site, they started working, meaning they expended some money. They spent money on whatever they were doing in terms of surveyors. It's very costly, to start up a new building. You have to involve surveyors. A lot of work is done before actually you move on site. So a lot of consultancy work was done. And again, further, money was also done. That slab that you are calling is just a slab. This is not a slab for a 3-bedroom house. This is a slab for a big infrastructure. And everybody knows that when you are making a slab, when you are building any infrastructure, the huge costs go into creating that slab. So anyway, this is 2015, 2016. 2016, President Edgar Lungu Sata died. Of course, President Edgar Lungu comes in. He stops all the projects that were above 80%, that were below 80%. He stops them. He also stops money that was contracted as a loan, but not disbursed. Meaning, the loan was agreed with Exim Bank. The money was supposed to come. Government had sourced the 15%, which was $33,750,000. Government had sourced that, put it aside, waiting for Exim Bank to put in their money. Contractors are working, but meanwhile, 2016, the project is stopped or suspended. When it is suspended, what happens to the contractors? The contractors and the consultants, they had to leave the site. But they had spent money. They had spent money already. So yes, the project is suspended, but they have spent money. 2016, 2017, 2018, they started making noise. The contractors, look guys, you have suspended this, but for us, we have already spent so much money. Can you at least pay us for the money that we have spent? We have got consultants who need to be paid and so on and so forth. It is when that money, and these negotiations were happening with Felix Mutati. Those contractors were knocking on Felix Mutati around 2018. And it is Felix Mutati that went to cabinet and said, since we have suspended this project, can we pay these people at least for the money that they have spent? That is how government used the 15% that they had secured and paid those people, paid the contractors. Is there anything, sinister, whatever? I don't see anything wrong in that. It is just that people are politicizing. That's why they are not following contractors. They are not following the contractors because they are being paid for consultants' work, surveillance work, and part of the work that they did. The contractors said, we can't keep on waiting. At least pay us what we have done. And Felix Mutati, you can go and ask him if Felix Mutati never discussed this, in cabinet, that these people should be paid. Felix Mutati will tell you that the contractors were on him so that Felix Mutati can pay them. Yes, he was removed, but the decision was already made by the time he was leaving. And that's how those people were paid. As we speak, that contract is still running because it is just suspended. It is just suspended. When government decides to go back on site, they will call the same contractors and get the money and finish the project if they want. So the first thing that what the UPND should be talking about is that PF suspended this project. Now for us, we are going to continue so that we finish the project. The contractors were already engaged. If they want, they can cancel, the contract, but it will cost them, because canceling a contract when you have engaged people, it costs money. And this is why even the PF had to pay, because they were abrogating, they suspended. Meanwhile, they have been engaged the contractors. So just to calm them down so that they don't enter into litigation of suing government to say, look, we moved on site. So to avoid that litigation, at least they paid them for what they had done thus far, or at least the agreement that they had, the advance. And the advance was the 15%, because the condition was that government was supposed to pay at least the 15% deposit to the contractors. Then the other money was supposed to come from Exim Bank. So they paid the advance 15%, which is 33,750,000. This is as simple as that. You can't understand why people are going back and forth, doing politics.
Tech Media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media.